Okay, this is Chapter 1, Lesson 7, Math Book, page 51. The first one is done for us. Plot each decimal on the number line. Write less than, greater than, or equal to in the circle to make it a true sentence. I say less than because the small part came first there. I say greater than because the larger opening came first on this symbol when you read it across. So here we go. The number line is nice, it's written out for you. You're comparing 4 and 4/10. The person they plotted it right here, versus 4 and 1/10. And the person put a plot mark right there at 4 and 1/10. You want to know which one's larger. As you are looking up your number line, you start at 4 and you go up to 5. The closer you are to becoming 5, the larger you are. Here you have 4 and 1 out of 10 pieces that it takes to make a whole, 4 and 1/10. Or you have 4 and 4 pieces out of 10 that it takes to make the whole number line. You have a little more here. This is greater. You have 4 and 4/10. Therefore, this number is larger. So it goes, this is the winner. The big mouth would eat this side. This is a larger number. So when you look over here, you need to just make sure it matches. 4 and 4/10 is greater than, they put the big mouth open to the 4 and 4/10, that matches what we said, is greater than 4 and 1/10. It's a little bigger than that. Okay, plotting them on the number line. I have 37 hundredths, it ends in the hundredths place, so I know that's 37 hundredths, versus 39 hundredths. I go to the number line, I find 37 hundredths. This one has a dot too. I put a dot to plot that spot. 39 hundredths is over here. Plot that spot. Which one would be greater? If you're going from 3/10 up to 4/10, 4/10 is more. It's a bigger number. So anything closer to that end is larger. So this is the winner. 39 hundredths is greater than 37 hundredths. So I look over at my answer. This one is the larger number. I'm going to have the big mouth open to the larger number, 39 hundredths. And this one is smaller. When you read it out loud, you'd say 37 hundredths is less than, because the small side came first, it is less than 39 hundredths. One more, 57 hundredths, I plot it. 65 hundredths is down here. The farther you go to the right on the number line, the larger the number is. 65 hundredths is greater than and larger than 57 hundredths. So I need to make sure the big mouth opens towards the 65. Here's 57 hundredths, here's 65 hundredths. I want the large side of my sign, my symbol, to face the larger number. The big mouth, if you put teeth in there, it would chew up 65 hundredths. That's the winner. When I read it out loud, I would say 57 hundredths is less than, because the small side came first, 65 hundredths. Moving on. Greater than, less than, or equal to, make it true. I have 2 and 15 hundredths versus 2 and 150 thousandths. This one ends in the tenths, this one ends in the thousandths. They look basically the same, but this one has a 0. Because this is a smaller place value, the pieces are getting smaller, you can just fill that space with another 0. And when you do that, you can see that they are the exact same value. 2 and 15 hundredths is equal to 2 and 150 thousandths, because you're allowed to put that 0 there to just see how it lines up when you have matching place values. Therefore, they are equal. Moving on. 652 thousandths versus 647 thousandths. We see our place values. The larger ones are on this side. We have our tenths, our hundredths, our thousandths. They are matching in the tenths, so that doesn't help us. The next largest place value, the hundredths, we have a 5 versus a 4. 5 wins, so that is greater. So that makes this entire number, because it ends in 52 versus 47, this is the greater number. So when I go up here to my problem, I want the big mouth to face 652 thousandths. So it would probably be easier if you could see that in another color. The large side of my symbol should be eating up the bigger number. And we said that 5 beat 4, so this number is larger. 652 thousandths is greater than 647 thousandths. Over here, once again, your teachers like you to rewrite the numbers so you can see them clearly and easily. Okay, ones are the same, tenths are the same, hundredths, the next largest spot, we've got a 9 versus a 0. 9 wins, and it's in the greater place value. You could put a 0 here if you'd like, just to have the same matching place values. You can also say that 90 is larger than 1, so therefore you can kind of see it that way also. 9 is greater than 0, therefore this whole number, 9 hundredths, is greater than 1 thousandth. This one ended in the thousandths place. Moving on. 2 and 800 thousandths versus 2 and 8 tenths. We need to line up those decimals when we do this. I have 2 in the ones, 8 in the tenths, and then they have 2 zeros. I could add 2 zeros or annex 2 zeros to this number just so they all have the same amount of place values, and that would work. Let's see. In the largest place value, the ones are matching. In the tenths, the 8s are matching, and if I add these extra zeros, it's still matching. Therefore, they are equal. They are the exact same amount. You really don't need those zeros at the end. You can see that they are equal. 2 and 800 thousandths is the exact same thing and equal to 2 and 8 tenths. Don't let those extra zeros trick you. Over here, 62 hundredths versus 26 hundredths. You can kind of hear that one when you say it out loud. 62 is greater than 26, so logically I'm pretty sure this is bigger, but I'm going to double check. In the in the ones, I have 0. In the tenths, which is the next biggest place value, I have a 6, which is greater than 2. I know right away that this is greater. So the large mouth of my symbol is going to open up to the larger number. 62 hundredths would be eaten by an alligator because it's larger. 62 hundredths is greater than 26 hundredths. I hope that helped you.